Hi, I'm here with Diana Twiss, a good friend of mine, and she was an extraordinary teacher while she was in the classroom. We were looking at somebody who was a district teacher of the year, moved on to be a county teacher of the year, and we are in California where she became a state teacher of the year finalist, which is extraordinary. And then she moved on to a different role, which she'll talk about right now.
I am currently a teacher on special assignment for wellness and engagement in the district that I work for. And my role basically is to take care of the well-being of all of our employees.
How's that?
It's different every day. And it's very similar to being in the classroom in terms of trying to understand, what impacts an individual and what shapes how they view themselves and their place in the world and their purpose, and how we find value and meaning in our work. So I love it.
So people come to you when they are struggling, maybe not necessarily with pedagogy, but with, hey, I'm just not happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most common things I hear is that I used to love doing such and such, and it runs the gamut. Sometimes I'm working with someone from maintenance and operations, and sometimes it's a classroom teacher, even an administrator. They used to find great joy in it, and now they're feeling depleted and burned out and can't quite anchor into what used to bring them to life.
And we know that the research says that one of the main reasons teachers leave the profession is feeling either unsupported in the classroom or unable to deal with behavior. And you see that all the time. Behavior is worse now than it has ever been. And I'm sure you probably hear that refrain. How do you coach teachers who are struggling with behavior? What are some of the main needs for the adults when they're dealing with kids with challenging behavioral issues?
One of the most helpful things is understanding how trauma impacts the brain to begin with, and then how trauma impacts learners or a learning brain. And what often comes to light is that the educators or the people in the profession themselves recognize that they have their own trauma that they're also bringing.
So they have to be able to co-regulate when the child is dysregulated.
Absolutely.
And is that a skill that they can build?
Absolutely. It's like a muscle, and which is interesting because it's the same for our internal ability to regulate. It's also a muscle that you can, or it's a system, but it's something that you can practice and develop and expand over time.
And you mentioned over time. That's probably one of the critical things you and I have been talking about off camera, is that when we're looking at helping adults change their behavior, this is not a one and done kind of format.
No, one of the most critical things, I think, and most beneficial is creating safety. We need safety in order to learn, which is a neuroscience-based fact, but also we need safety within our working environments to be vulnerable about the things that we're struggling with, about the things that maybe used to work and don't anymore, and about what we're learning and how we're implementing it. And it takes practice, it takes time. So there's going to be great days, and then you'll come back the next day and it's 2 steps back. Which is actually very normal according to the research.
Right on. How long would you say it would, with the people you coach, that it takes before they can go from a place of struggling to empowerment and feeling like, okay, I've got it now? Or maybe not I've got it, but at least I'm now more capable of handling the behaviors that are being thrown at me?
I would say, honestly, at least 6 months to get some good traction and foundation, because part of that is going back to what drew us to the profession to begin with, and really getting clear on our values, and then how is our perspective of ourselves and what's been happening in education out of alignment with those values. And so it really starts from the individual and building there and our own knowledge base, and then playing with the tools that we gain over time. And it's a you'll see every year it's like adding another layer or another foundation, so it just gets better, but it does take a level of patience.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.